YouTube will not let me play this. I've uploaded it once. They took it down, said it would copyrights. But listen to this and listen to this real carefully.
The square! Who broke the square, big dog? Your parents and their idiot politicians. They said there was enough to go around. They let the foreigners in. They squandered your future to poor people and bums. They shortchanged you. Man, they stole your freedom! Those days are over! Corporate America has finally answered their wake-up call and joined us in our fight for a better tomorrow. With their help, we've already begun to clean up the homeless vermin that pollute old Detroit. So, who will join us? Who wants to make the square whole? Make the square whole! Make the square whole! Make the square whole! Make the square!
Now, this is from the TV show RoboCop. I keep telling people, watch that TV show. Because a lot of the stuff that we're going through today, it was in that show. It is unbelievable. Like, the predictive programming, they put it in the show and they haven't deviated from the script. Watch the next things that were in that show that I'm seeing happening right now is the wars they're planning against South America for the resources. They went to war with South America to steal its resources. And then you hear U.S. generals talking about, oh, we don't want China and Russia to come in and take the resources from Brazil or Peru. Who in the hell are you to decide if China and Russia can go there and negotiate resources from those countries? You're not their presidents. You're not their leaders. Who died and said the U.S. United States Corporation has the authority to monitor who can do what with its resources on the planet? Now watch this.
Say too, we're live on air, so, but, you know, what do you think about what the mayor's doing, and what should the president and the White House be doing?
This is up to us. This is up to each and every one of us to stand up. Nobody's coming here for us.
Right.
We're here for ourselves. If we don't get up and fight for our city, nobody's coming for us. They're coming to destroy it. The reason why they're here is to steal our votes.
Right.
We're not going to be able to live. They're stealing our votes, our kids' future, my birthright. Our United States is great city that I refuse to leave. Do you understand? Nobody's coming for us. These elected officials aren't even elected. They're using absentee ballots. They're being selected.
And they're operating without...
What did you think that AOC, you know, when she came out and other members of Congress and they had this press conference, what did you think about their comments?
They will never be allowed to walk down the streets again.
Yes.
They have destroyed our city, and New York, especially Queens,
All
is
right,
woken
let's
up.
pull away from this. You see the...
So, you know, America, if they send their military to a country, it's because we want to steal their natural resources and overthrow their democratically elected government, install a puppet so our capitalists, which actually run our government, can extract wealth from that country. That's, if you read Confessions of an Economic Hitman or War is a Racket, if you know anything about the United States military's history since it started, that's all we do. And now, watch this. This is the U.S. Southcom commander. And she's talking about Latin America's natural resources that are so rich in resources, it's off the charts. She says 60% of the world's lithium is in the region. You have heavy crude. You have light sweet crude. You have rare earth elements. You have the Amazon.
A juicy booty on that South America.
Yes. You want to hear her? Here she is.
This region is so rich
Yeah.
in resources. It's off the charts rich. And they have a lot to be proud of. And our competitors and adversaries also know how rich in the resources that this region is. 60% of the world's lithium is in the region. You have heavy crude. You have light sweet crude. You have rare earth elements.
And we have a military that's going to get all those for our capitalists in America.
She will be mine. Oh, yes.
Who is she? She's General Laura Richardson. She's dual military family, wife, mother, sister, daughter. Now, I don't know if you know this, but she misspelled dual. She used so dual, the way she means it is spelled D-U-A-L. But the
She
way
fights other military families.
But the
to
way she
death.
spelled it means she's fighting other military families, her wife, her mother, her sister, and her daughter. She's dueling.
That's the list of people she's beaten
Yeah.
in a fair duel.
She's dueling. So that's who this is, and that's what she's saying. Let's go look what. If this was a Russian general speaking like this about Ukraine and any other neighboring country, it wouldn't leave Twitter for a month. So this is not going to make a dent on Twitter. So her saying all this crap is not going to make a dent on Twitter. And it won't make a dent in our culture. It won't make a dent in our corporate news media. It won't become something that we talk about in our cultural consciousness. It's something that we repress.
Well, then when we, go in to free them or whatever, you'll see this pop, I guess this will pop up back again on your show. This
Yes,
clip when
that's
we're
right.
going in.
We got to bring some democracy to the Amazon. That's what they're going to say. General Richardson wants to solve Venezuela democratically.
Oh, man. Don't make me come down there and democratically
Having this
solve your
resolved.
shit.
Having this resolved peacefully and democratically is obviously where we want to go with Venezuela. And I meet in Venezuela or in Miami a lot.
Obviously, we have to say that we care about democracy in Venezuela, even though we undermine it at every turn, because when they have democracy and they elect people, we don't like how it turns out. So
our plans for Venezuela and Havana are as diverse as the breakfast tacos of San Antonio.
Of the different diasporas in Miami, there are a lot of folks from Venezuela in Miami, and a lot of them still have family in Venezuela.
And a lot of those people were the rich ruling class who don't like democracy, just like the rich ruling class from Cuba also left when the revolution happened, and they came to the United States, and they've wanted the United States to overthrow the government in Cuba ever since. So she's pretending like the people in Venezuela, from Venezuela who live in Miami, are representative of the people who still live in Venezuela. They're not. That's why they left Venezuela.
Even when Chavez got in, and I remember he was like remember he did all kinds of bad stuff, like say George W. Bush was the devil.
Yeah.
And but he was voted in. Like they couldn't say like he took over or something. He got voted in. Like there's no.
But they try to say he wasn't. They always say the elections weren't legit. That's what they do.
Well, they should be barred from YouTube for saying an election's not legitimate.
That's right. If you say that
And if that situation could be resolved.
So General Richardson of the U.S. War Pig Southern Command Post, tasked with maintaining U.S. military and economic control over South and Central America, thinks that Venezuelans in Miami represent the democratic will of the Venezuelan people.
As you know,
go ahead.
As you know, we believe that Cubans represented by that one fat chick on The View represents all the. Do you know that? Do you know the one I'm talking about? That who her dad had a plantation in Cuba.
I will have to denounce you for referring to her weight.
Oh well, they called them war pigs. I mean, that's a mean.
I like war pigs. I like war pigs.
Just because our military's put on a little weight, I don't think you have to shame it.
But for all those people on The View who thought that, hey, you just have women. If women ran the world, we wouldn't have wars. I point to you. I point to this war pig right here.
I was like, why? Because they would never have the camaraderie to form a standing army. But
so if you think that women aren't as evil, bloodthirsty, and warmongering as men, you're wrong. If you thought women couldn't be just as horrible as men, you're wrong.
You're sexist, is what you are.
You're being sexist. You're saying that women can't shatter that glass ceiling of being war criminals. They can. They've already done it.
Look at how she just can't wait to dig into that.
Yes.
To dig into that South American lush rainforest.
Wow, they've got all these minerals and shit just sitting there.
It sounds like an old Spanish thing. Like they should have conquistador hats while they talk about it.
It sounds like she's be saying, "Wow, you got a lot of rare earth minerals underneath. What's it all doing underneath our land? What's all our oil doing underneath your land? That's it. That's how they would say it. Hey, what's all our rare earth minerals doing underneath your land? We got to go get them." So, look at that, a bloodthirsty war maniac with a vagina. Isn't that nice? Oh boy. And that's it. She can be a woman and be the worst person in the world, as Keith Olbermann used to say. Isn't that something?
The Amazon War was a military conflict involving the United States of America against unknown combatants. The Rehabs, a paramilitary force owned by OCP, participated in the war. 1. OCP also developed a specialized plasma cannon to use in the conflict to knock out machinery such as aircraft and armored vehicles. 2. After the war, Kane was court-martial ed. 3. The name suggests that the war occurred in South America, more specifically the Amazon rainforest. The cause of the war is never extensively described, but it might have something to do with the Amazon nuclear power facility.